What PATS is. Before I explain the different ways to bypass the passive anti-theft system on your Ford, let's talk about what it actually is. Also known as SecuriLock, this is Ford's way of making sure someone can't just pop the ignition and drive your car off. The system automatically checks for a coded key before it lets the engine start, or the steering wheel remains locked. It's called passive because you don't press a button or flip a switch to arm it. Once the car is off, it's always working. Under the plastic head of every Ford key, there's a tiny transponder chip that sends a unique electronic code to your truck's computer when you turn the key or hit start. That code has to match what the car expects before the starter, fuel system, and ignition will run. If the computer doesn't see the right code, the engine won't turn over, even if the metal keyblade fits perfectly in the lock. Ford made this system for good, but I've seen it leave Ford owners stranded many times. One guy brought in his 2009 Escape after picking it up, and the car wouldn't start because the anti-theft light was flashing. Many owners have been unable to unlock their Ford because the PATS chip isn't being read correctly. This is actually good for security, as it makes hot wiring, key cloning, and other theft tricks much harder. But the problem starts when your own key stops communicating properly or if the vehicle has lost its key programming. So what should you do if you can't start your Ford? Getting a key cut. One of the best ways to start your car is to get a key your own Ford will recognize. With the PATS, the metal shape of the key and the little transponder chip inside it have to match what your truck's computer expects. If the chip isn't right, the engine simply won't start. What I tell most Ford owners is that you need a replacement key that's been cut to match your original key and properly programmed to your car's anti-theft system. A blank key that's just cut won't be enough by itself because it won't have the transponder code the car is looking for. Dealers can order a replacement key for you and will cut and program it so the PATS system sees it as real. Those key cuts and programming jobs usually end up costing between $120 and $350 at a dealer, depending on your model and key type. If you didn't misplace your key yet, you could ask an independent automotive locksmith to cut the key and handle the programming. This is cheaper, usually in the range of $90 to $200. Now, don't let just anyone cut your key because they're cheap. I've seen customers get the metal shape copied at a hardware store for like $10, but the car still wouldn't start. That's because they didn't program it with the transponder. But if you visit the dealer, you'll need proof of ownership to make sure you're not stealing someone else's car. If you can't wait to visit the dealer, there are some tricks which can help you bypass the PATS and start your car from home. One of these is what many call the physical chip trick. Physical chip trick. The tiny transponder chip inside the head of your Ford key is what your truck's passive anti-theft system looks for every time it starts. That chip gets powered by a ring-shaped antenna behind the ignition and broadcasts a coded signal that the car's computer expects before it will let the starter and fuel pump work. If that signal doesn't match, the engine won't spin up. Ford's PATS system only cares about that tiny chip and its electronic code. You can remove that chip from a good key and then tape it near the ignition antenna so that the vehicle can still pick up the code even when you use a blank cut key for the metal part. The antenna ring only needs to see the correct chip close by. So if you can hold or mount that chip near the ignition where the antenna reads it, and then use any cut-to-fit keyblade just to turn the ignition, the PATS system thinks everything is legit and allows the engine to crank. But here's something you should know if you already have a good key. Don't rely on this hack long term. That chip and the security it provides is there for a reason. It keeps your vehicle from being hot-wired and stolen. Sacrificing its proper placement with some crummy tape might get you started today, but it also makes it easier for someone else to take your car tomorrow. So, you can use that to get to your destination at that moment, but you should definitely get a new key cut and program it. It's also a good idea to keep a spare, properly programmed key. If you find this helpful, like and subscribe to support the channel. Leaving the key in the driver's side lock. Another tip I have for you: try to trick your Ford by leaving the key in the driver's side lock. This is one of the old school tricks you can use to bypass the PATS. PATS monitors whether an authorized key has been used to physically unlock the car. Some folks insert the key into the driver's door cylinder, turn it to the unlock position, and hold it there for 20 to 30 seconds before getting in and trying to start the engine. This gives the system time to see a valid coded key and wake up, which might clear a glitch and let the PATS module trust the next start attempt. I've seen owners of older Escapes and F-150s who were able to bypass the PATS by turning and holding a programmed key in the door lock. Eventually, the vehicle started normally. One guy with a 2011 Escape said he got stuck with a flashing anti-theft symbol that wouldn't let the engine crank, and he turned the key to unlock and waited for about 40 seconds. The system behaved, and he eventually got it to start again. You can try this when you're in a hurry, but don't rely on it as a real repair. If your PATS system is malfunctioning, you should find time to repair it. Using a transponder bypass kit. If there's one device you should always keep in your car, it's the transponder bypass kit, which can help you bypass the PATS in an emergency. What these kits actually are is a small piece of electronics that mimics the signal from your car's own key chip, so the vehicle thinks a valid key is present even when the physical key isn't in the ignition at the moment. Most commonly, you can get a bypass kit used when someone is installing an aftermarket remote start system. These remote starters need the engine to run without the key in the ignition, but the Ford PATS system normally won't let the engine run without that transponder code right there. So what the bypass module does is hold a programmed chip ready in a secure spot under the dash and then sends its signal around the ignition coil when the remote start triggers. The car hears the legit code and lets the engine spin without throwing an anti-theft shutdown. It fools the immobilizer only at the right time, but it won't turn off the security features. There are a few different ways these kits are set up. Some require you to take one of your programmed keys and put it inside the bypass box, then loop a wire around the ignition barrel so the receiver coil can pick up the signal. When wired correctly, the module only sends that code when a remote start command comes in. The factory system still protects your truck the rest of the time. Installation isn't always easy, as many kits come with instructions that might need a professional's help. So, if you never want to get stuck with a faulty PATS, you should consider getting one of these kits to bypass the system. There are other ways to bypass PATS using devices, tuning, and reflashing. Using technical or hardware bypass methods. If you want to bypass Ford's PATS system with technical tricks, you can ask a professional mechanic to help you. One of the methods used by professionals is to reflash or reprogram the PCM to remove the PATS requirement. In theory, you could completely rewrite the software inside the PCM to ignore the anti-theft check. The car might start without needing a programmed key signal. There are aftermarket services that will bench flash your PCM. Shops that do this might charge a few $100s, and it can work on some older Ford models, but there is one catch. Ford doesn't allow you to delete PATS from the PCM with a dealer tool. After all, doing this can make the vehicle less secure and cause trouble with the emission systems, immobilizer work, or registration in some areas. Another way to bypass the system is to use aftermarket tuning tools, like HP tuners or similar devices that can talk to the vehicle's computer through the OBD2 port. With those, you can load a custom tune file that might modify or suppress the PATS check. In race car or track-only environments, tuners often remove the anti-theft logic to allow engine swaps or standalone engine control systems. This isn't something you could do at home with a $30 tool. You're looking at hundreds of dollars for the hardware and a custom calibration. A third method is to use a transponder emulator device. Rather than bypassing PATS entirely, these hardware modules act like a key's transponder chip. They plug into the PATS wiring near the ignition transceiver and broadcast the correct coded signal directly to the immobilizer antenna. In effect, the PCM gets the signal it expects without having the original key. These emulators are sometimes used in remote start installations where the engine has to run without a physical key in the ignition. Now, if you use these methods, there's one thing I have to mention. These methods don't magically create a new key, and so you might still have to ask a dealer or a locksmith for help. If you're in a hurry, these are some temporary methods you can use to start your Ford, but this isn't a full bypass. Reset and temporary methods. When your Ford's PATS starts acting up, there are a couple of simple reset tricks you can try at home that can wake the system up and let it recognize your key again. One of the common ones is what people call a key cycle reset. It's basically giving the vehicle a moment to relearn your key's signal after a glitch. You stick your original key in the ignition, turn it to the on position, and just leave it there for about 15 minutes. That's long enough for the anti-theft light to stop blinking or go solid, which means the PATS module has stopped trying to reject the key and is ready to sync up again. After that wait, turn the key back to off for a few minutes, and then try to start it again. Another method some Ford owners use is to reset the battery. That's where you kill the power completely so the vehicle's computers get a fresh reboot. Turn everything off, open the hood, and disconnect the negative battery cable. Leave it off for about 30 minutes so the capacitors and modules inside the truck really lose all the charge. Then hook the battery back up, get in with your programmed key, and try starting it again. Now, if you find yourself stuck because your Ford won't start, you know how to bypass the PAT system. But my advice? The best thing is to cut a new key and reprogram it, and then keep a spare close by. What do you do when you're locked out of your car? Let's know your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe for more insights into how to get the most out of your Ford.